Okay, good morning. This is going to be your Chapter 4, Lesson 4 work together. Since I can't be there with you to do it, let's go ahead and do this one together on the video. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. If you watch the notes, you'll know that this is a pretty simple lesson. We'll go ahead and look at the full question. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Okay, view instructions in a separate window. Okay, the journal is given below. We're going to be looking at, see if I can make this a little bit smaller. Okay, that was odd. We've discovered that a transaction for supplies bought last month was journalized and posted in error as a debit to prepaid insurance instead of supplies of $60. So we got memorandum number 15. Then we had another error, and we're going to journalize each one of these in our journal. Okay, so we're ready to get started. Remember that you can also see your instructions in the book, and for this one, this is on page 109. So, discovered a transaction for supplies bought last month was journalized and posted in error as a debit to prepaid insurance. So that was our mistake. So our mistake was a debit to prepaid insurance. So just on a scrap piece of paper, I'm going to write debit to prepaid insurance. Okay? That was the error. And we should have had a debit to supplies, and the amount was $60. So the first thing we have to do, we know we're going to debit supplies $60, but we have to undo the error. Because we did a debit to prepaid insurance, we're going to undo a debit with a credit to prepaid insurance. Okay? In our journal, we know that our debits come first. So we're going to start with the date. The date was November the 1st. And the one we want to debit is the one that was correct, which is supplies. Okay, document number. We know this happened because we have a memorandum number 15. We're going to record the general debit because supplies is not a special account. So general debit of $60. And then the second part, we're going to undo our mistake. So we have to undo the debit with a credit, and that is for prepaid insurance. So I list prepaid insurance and I do my credit for $60. Okay, I have a debit, I have a credit, that one's done. The next transaction. Open that up to see it. It says we discovered that a transaction for rent expense for last month was journalized and posted in error as a debit to repair expense instead of rent expense. So, on my scrap piece of paper, I'm going to write down what the error was. So it was a debit to repair expense. That was my error. So I know that to undo a debit, I have to do a credit. So I'm going to credit repair expense. Then I have to do what I should have done in the first place, which was make a debit to rent expense. Okay, so I'm going to have to do a credit to repair expense and a debit to rent expense. And this was also on November the 1st, and it was a memorandum. Bring that back. Okay, November the 1st. Going to enter my debit one first, so this is going to be rent expense. I know this happened because we have memorandum number 16. And it should have been a debit for $550. And now we're going to undo what we did, and we're undoing it with a credit, so that was repair expense. And it's got a credit of $550. Okay, my debit equals my credit. Debit equals credit, so that means this one is good. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead, if you understood what we did there, just make sure that you undo what you did, and then you have to record what you should have recorded in the first place. And the debit has to be on top, and your debits have to equal your credits. So there's your three your 3 basic rules or 4 basic rules of it. Undo what you did wrong, do what you should have done in the first place, make sure your debit's on top, make sure your debits equal your credits. Okay, so you're going to go ahead with your 4-4 on your own. If you get that one all correct, you're ready for your application problem, and then after that you need to work on your mastery and study guide, and you'll be ready for your test. See you later.